have to be 100% honest, I was not sure exactly what I wanted to do for a new reading vlog. Lately, I've been doing a lot of themed reading or using reading prompt jars or book bingo prompts to pick what I am going to be reading, and I think I'm just kind of in the mood right now to go with the flow and mood read. I haven't done that in quite a bit, and it's time that I do it again. Just let my brain have a little break from certain things and go with whatever I'm in the mood for. So I do think I'm probably gonna read like 3 books for this reading vlog and just go with the flow, finish one, and then decide whatever I feel like next and go with that. So first off, I think I'm gonna start Jungle by Yossi Ginsberg. So sorry if I'm not saying that name correctly, but I'm actually borrowing this book from someone and it has been eyeing me from my desk for like a month or 2 now, and I do really want to get into it. It just unfortunately did not fit any of the themes of other vlogs I had been doing, so I've been biding my time and waiting patiently, but I think it's time. So this is a memoir about the author himself getting stuck in the Amazon jungle. I don't exactly know how he gets stuck in the jungle, but I'm assuming I am going to find out in great detail. I always love memoirs like this where there's travel involved in nature and some sort of accident or whatever makes the whole thing go awry, and the author has to figure out how the hell they're going to survive this situation. Obviously, it's a horrible thing and I wish it upon no one, but it is very interesting to read about. It's also been made into a movie with Daniel Radcliffe, so obviously I am going to have to watch that after reading this. This is the one I'm going to start with, and I am going to start reading it right now because I am really in the reading mood right now. It is actually currently storming outside, so it's kind of like a cozy kind of day where I just want to curl up in my office with a blanket and maybe a tea a little later or something and just read. just finished Jungle, and this book was so freaking well written. I cannot describe to you how many emotions I felt reading this. The author really left no gory detail out of his story. He added every single thing, even if it could potentially be embarrassing or make him seem weak. He didn't give himself this tough guy kind of facade. He was very, very honest about how he felt in certain situations being lost in the jungle. And I don't want to say too much because I think it would be a very interesting thing for lots of people to read. I highly recommend that you read this book. It is very, very good. But there are parts where he is stranded alone and gets himself injured, and I was actually cringing at some of the things that happened to him, and I thought there is no way anyone could survive this. And it's crazy because obviously you as the reader know he did. He's writing this book. But nonetheless, it was just insane the amount of things that this man went through and still survived. I cannot fathom being in that situation, and I've watched a lot of Survivor Man, but I don't think I could survive this. So I will say, if you are at all into survival stories, things like Survivor Man with Les Stroud, I know that's Canadian, I think you'd really be into this book. The only thing I would caution people with is that there is a lot of detailed animal death in this, and it definitely made me a bit uncomfortable. I don't like animal death at all, so there were a few parts that really made me kind of upset, especially when animals are killed and then wasted, like they were killed with the intention of being food, but then people stick their noses up at it or just wasted. That really, really bothers me, and that does happen a few times in this book, so keep that in mind if you do plan on reading this one. But other than that, I mean, there are some nasty, gory descriptions of injuries, but other than that, super good. I think everybody could read this and learn something from it. Learn something about, I think, the human spirit and just resiliency and also gratefulness. But yeah, really good. I'm super happy that I borrowed this book from someone, and I'm actually going to see if they wouldn't mind lending it to me a little bit longer so I can get my partner to read it, because I think he would also really enjoy this story. And it is obviously a movie with Daniel Radcliffe, so once he has finished reading it, I would love to watch that movie with him and see what we think about it. Hopefully they kept it pretty accurate to the book. For now, I do think I'm going to keep going with this reading vlog and pick up an arc. It's kind of a mood read for me. It is one that I really need to get to, but I have been really looking forward to it. It was sent to me, I want to say about a month ago, and that is Hate Me, Take Me by Laura Bishop. So originally I was sent the arc for Love Me, Stalk Me by Laura Bishop last year, and I loved it. It was 5 stars, and the publishing company recently sent me this arc, which I think is either a sequel in the same series or it's a standalone and it's just kind of the author's theme. I'm not entirely sure, and I didn't want to read the synopsis because I don't want to go into it with any spoilers. I was actually shocked that I got sent this arc, and I'm so excited to finally get into it. I will say I think I'm going to start reading it tomorrow because I have read a lot today on top of doing schoolwork, and then also my partner and I went for a walk at the beach earlier, and it's very just gloomy and stormy outside, and I kind of want to cozy up in bed and game or watch TV or something like that. I've read enough for the day, but I think I am going to start this one tomorrow, and fingers crossed it is going to be just as good as the first one. I just finished Hate Me, Take Me, and it ended up being pretty good. I'm gonna say more of a 4-star than a 5-star. Love Me, Stalk Me, which was the first book in this series, actually what I'm assuming is going to be a trilogy from what kind of transpired in this one, was definitely a little bit better, or rather I liked it a little bit more than Hate Me, Take Me. That one was 5 stars. This one is, I think, more of a 4-star because the cringe just got a little too cringy at times, especially towards the end. Some of it just actually gave me chills. It was so corny. But as far as the romance and the writing went, it was still pretty solid. I really enjoyed the characters for the most part. There were some red flags in both of the main characters, but not nearly as bad as some of the other dark romance that I have read. And they all also had just quirks and fun little aspects of their personalities that I don't want to say made up for the red flags, but it definitely helped. So all in all, this one was a lot of fun. If you have read Love Me, Stalk Me, I highly recommend picking this one up. It is about characters that are in Love Me, Stalk Me, but are not the main characters. And then I'm thinking that a third one is going to come from this. That is going to be about 2 other characters who are mentioned quite a bit in this book. I think it's going to be a really fun read. Hopefully that comes out next year or the year after, because it is something I'm going to be keeping on my radar for sure and looking forward to for when it comes out. So now it's kind of hard. I don't really know what I'm in the mood for. Part of me thought maybe horror, but I don't know if I feel like getting the pants scared off me right now. So I think I'm actually going to go with The Goodbye Cat. I think this is a perfect book to pick up not knowing what I'm in the mood for, because if it's anything like The Traveling Cat Chronicles by Hiro Arikawa, I am going to really love it and not want to put it down. I think it is also 7 short stories bundled up into one novel, so that'll be kind of nice too. It should make it feel like it's like a quick read with a lot of breaks. I also just love anything with cats, and I do have a feeling this one's probably going to make me cry, but I'm ready for it, I think. Anyway, I do think I am going to start this one in a little bit, and hopefully it is going to be exactly what I'm looking for right now. I just finished The Goodbye Cat, and this book was so beautiful and sad, but mostly beautiful. It definitely made me cry a few times. It's split into 7 different stories, and the first story, I think I cried twice for 2 different reasons. oh, it just really tugged at my heartstrings. The last story also just almost made me cry, but I knew how it was going to end because the cat that is in that story is also in one of the stories from the Traveling Cat Chronicles. There's actually 2 stories in here that have the same cats from the Traveling Cat Chronicles, so I really loved that. I thought it was a really great crossover. I didn't realize it at first, but I was like, man, like this one sounds familiar, and then it clicked and I was like, oh, it's the same cat, same story, just a different piece of the story, I guess, that was missing from the Traveling Cat Chronicles. I think it would kind of be considered a prequel, but the other stories are completely standalones. They have nothing to do with the Traveling Cat Chronicles. They're simply their own. What I also found interesting with this one is that some of them are told from the perspective of cats, and then other ones are told more from third-person perspectives or from the perspective of the cat's owners. So it was interesting that they weren't all told from the perspective of cats. I think I prefer that just because it's kind of cute to be in the mind of a cat, and this author does a really good job at capturing the essence of cats and just how clever they can be, but also the cat sass, if you will. I think the author does an impeccable job with that. So all of that being said, this book is absolutely 5 stars. I loved every single part of it. I think it was so beautiful, and if you are a cat lover, you need to read this one. I will say though, it is rather sad. As the title would suggest, The Goodbye Cat, it sounds sad, and it is. So if you don't deal with sad animal things very much, go into this one with caution, I think, because it is going to make you feel sad, but in a beautiful way. It's not just sad to be sad, it's sad with meaning. But on that note, I think this is going to conclude my mood reading vlog. I am really happy with the direction this one went. I had a great time. I really enjoyed the books that I ended up going with, and I feel accomplished because I also finally read books that I've been meaning to read. I just never really had the reason or the pull to read them, but I finally did it, and they turned out to be great. So I will definitely be doing this again soon. But for now, I am going to leave this one here. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and happy reading.